T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds.
All right. Let's get a sound check, guys.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Bring your appetite down to Big Belly Cafe, 140 Gore Street, Webster, Mass. for curbside, takeout, and indoor seating. Visit BigBellyCafe.com to view their hours, menu, and order online. For reservations, please call ahead at 508-949-2433. Follow Big Belly Cafe on Facebook for weekly and daily specials. And remember, all veterans receive a discount for their recognition of service. Big Belly Cafe. Reedy's Archery, located in Middleborough, Mass. at 121 Wood Street, has been a staple in the area since 1993 and has become the one-stop pro shop for competitive target archers and bow hunters from New England. Reedy's is open Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. Make sure to visit Reedy'sArchery.com and follow them on Facebook to keep up with upcoming events. Reedy's Archery, dedicated to the archer. Wolf Aviation Network is the only flight school in the area utilizing the Airwolf Simulator AATD and the specialized Part 61 training program designed to save students money while increasing safety and efficiency. Creating safe pilots is our first priority. Our flight sim is the perfect training device. It is designed to prepare students adequately before taking flight in our aircraft. Fly with us and save money. Wolf Aviation. Reserve your spot at 413-563-1929 and visit wolfaviationnetwork.com.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume again.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
Do you have any real-world experience?
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Make no mistake, reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Welcome to another episode of Fubar Studios. I'm your host, Doug, and I've got a very special guest that we've got here with me today. But before we get to it, just want to give a big thanks to everybody that watched the show last week, and everybody that keeps watching it. Please remember always to just like and share, and definitely subscribe. So, who we have today? We have Sergeant, retired Sergeant First Class McDonald here with us. I definitely want to say thank you for coming on to the show with us today. And this whole opportunity to be able to get an interview and understanding with the whole military and transitioning into civilian life. So let's go ahead and take it off the top.
Sure.
So with everything, I want to say thanks, for your service and everything, and I want to talk about, your whole background on, your military career, as well as everything, that you've, you achieved and everything within the service. Can you give me a little background, regarding that?
Well, as you know, I achieved the rank of Sergeant First Class, but I was a recruiter in Boston and Fenway, but I was also in 88 Mike, which is a transporter, and I did that for a significant amount of time. That was my main MOS. So I did that and did recruiting and did some detachment work. So there's all kind of things in my 15-year career.
Yeah. Now you say 15 years. So when you got in, that was, say around 2001, was it?
No, I got in 97.
97. That's my apologies. I do apologize. So 97. So, and then you got out around, what year was that you got out?
2013.
2013. All right. And again, I know we have a lot of history. We were actually serving in this same company over in Springfield, Massachusetts, over at Westover, which was the 304th Transportation. That's where I ended up meeting you. And I want to say that was around 2011 or 12 is when you came over.
2012. Yes.
2012. Yeah. Which you were the acting first sergeant of the 304th and everything. So, and then you were getting retired out and stuff like that. Now, as that was happening and stuff, how was the transitioning? What did the military, as they were transitioning you out into civilian life, like what was like the process to that, and how was it?
Well, I was basically handed a VA assistant, and the VA assistant would handle the process for me. But however, far as on the active duty side, it was just a 1-day class that I had. That was it.
Man,
we called it ACAP.
And really, within 1 day, you really can't just go over everything that that you're going to need to understand and how to really adapt to be going into civilian life. Even though we are trained as soldiers to adapt and overcome, but when it comes to some things, it's like sometimes you're not prepared for it, and this is one of those things I think we're not prepared for, because it's a different way of living. For me, as an example, I went in at a young age. I didn't know, excuse my French, but my ass from my elbows. which it's hard to really understand that. And then it's like now you're going from being, in the military to being, active duty military to now being in civilian life. And you were married, and you had kids and all that, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct.
So again, that's a whole nother avenue that, you go down that, again, it's, you're trying to be able to provide for your family, and then you're also, getting out of the service, which, and it doesn't seem like, they really tried to get you to be able to adapt to it. What was like one of the things that, like, were you asking questions and trying to figure out, how to, like, get your resume together or whatnot? Was any of those things going through your head and asking the them for that information?
Basically, I mean, in hindsight, looking back 50, I mean, in hindsight, looking back 2020, my resume, it was too military oriented, and it wasn't broken down to where a civilian could understand that. And the VA liaison who I had should have understood that, but she didn't.
Yeah.
And she definitely undervalued me. We were looking for jobs in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
I mean, we were looking for jobs in like McDonald's and shoe stores and stuff like that. And you don't want to get out just to work at McDonald's. I mean,
yeah, that's like that's for like a high school kid that's going through high school.
Right.
They should have opened, the doors and said, this is what you have in the military. So let's try to take that and put it into the aspect of being civilian life. Which again, you were in a transportation truck driving unit, which then at that point it should be kind of focusing on that kind of, in the civilian world. But again, when you're getting out of the service, you have so much on your plate that you're trying to grasp to, that it's like, oh wait, hold on, you're not thinking of it. And that's where it's kind of falls to the military that, they should offer more than just the 1-day class. It should be, maybe a week-long class, maybe 2-week course or class, something like that. Because there's got to be hurdles that you got to get over to try to get things, because let alone transitioning out of being in the active duty, then it's transitioning into housing of being getting out of the service and living in a regular house, or apartment or a condo, whatever it is, and then then you have on top of that, you have everything else that is going along with it, getting your kids enrolled into school, and stuff like that. And it kind of boggles my mind on it. So with that, it's like, there's a lot of things that the military should do, on top of that, but going back into the military life, where did you, like, can you tell me some places where you've traveled to, foreign and off to the broad, or even here stateside wise, any locations that you were ever stationed at?
Yes, I was stationed in Germany, and while I was abroad, I've been to Spain, France, Holland, England, been to Poland, been to Italy. I've been pretty much I've been all over the states.
Yeah.
Been to California, been to Texas, been to Detroit, Minnesota, from Maine to Florida. I've been to, and it's just been all over.
Yeah.
Just been all over. So, you know, I've I've, I've I've definitely been in some places.
That you definitely have it. I mean, what you're telling, it's like holy cow, you've been all over the world type deal. It's
And that's not even mentioned in Iraq and Kuwait.
yeah.
3 deployments. So,
Geez, it's crazy. But again, it's the military of way they move around you, get you to move, and stuff like that. Which a lot of those places, I mean, again, it's some of those are probably going to be fascinated, beautiful places to visit and stuff. And then you got the other ones that are just, yeah, you don't want to kind of remember sometimes.
right. I've had them.
So, with everything, now going back into transitioning out of the service. Now, I know we've talked quite a bit and stuff like this. Now, when you were transitioning, I know you were going through your stuff family-wise. Now, were at any point you also were homeless and stuff like that. That's correct?
Yeah, so homelessness came later. It wasn't like right away. So that
Yeah.
that came after I got out, I was established, and I was working for a while. That came later.
Now with that, I mean, I know they have, and I know you said that you were staying at, certain veteran places and stuff like that. Can you, give us, give the viewers and everybody an understanding of like the way the veteran places are set up as?
Yeah, there's just various locations spread all throughout New England, where they offer veteran services, far as whether it's shelter or whether it's any type of assistance, and that's available to veterans. But it's just a lot of that is just finding out, just really showing up in person.
Yeah.
Finding out about these benefits is just showing up in person or hearing about other veterans. You're not going to find out unless you maybe go online or look online or
because they're not I mean, through the VA, they're really not discussed that much. That's what I'm kind of understanding, if that's correct.
Right, they're not discussed as much. So a lot of times I just found out about benefits by word of mouth.
Yeah.
So,
Now, I know as we were talking and everything, it's and I mean, we're not going to talk about like the places and stuff like that, unless any of the viewers, if they do have a question regarding, lists of veteran places that are out there, please just send us a message and I'll get you information on locations. But we're not going to go through, the locations and stuff where, Sergeant McDonald was at or anything. Now, as you were into this situation of being homeless and everything, was there, any training or anything that they provided that might have been, useful for you and stuff?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to be fortunate and just surround yourself around the right people,
Yeah.
because not having surrounding yourself around the right people is just as dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to surround yourself around the right people and around the right team, and people are going to look out for you. And that's something that I struggled to do in 2017
Yeah.
until I had a cardiac incident, and then I became hospitalized, and um then a whole another turn just took place, and I needed to use the VA in a whole different way.
Yeah. Now, I know with, a lot of people, and I know you and I talked about it again, it's, the whole thing of, once you get into some of these places that are, for veterans, you get sometimes you get caught up into way things happen, and sometimes it's the pure evil that, that the part of it is. And, again, that's like, known, alcohol abuse and drug abuse and stuff like that. And again, like I know we talked about it, that was something that you also experienced, that turbulence, and stuff that you went through. you know, what are some things that you can tell the viewers? It's, things of, try not to, go towards that and stuff like that. What could you tell the viewers?
Oh, I mean, I, it's hard to say, because substance abuse is a disorder, just
Yeah.
like any other thing. It needs to be treated, and if you know you have a disorder, you need to get treated for it.
Yeah.
You can't leave it untreated. If you have a broken leg, of course, you want to get that broken leg fixed.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a disorder because it runs in my family. My mom and my dad both drank every single day hard liquor. And,
Yeah.
and I drank from the bottle too, because I made their drinks for them, because I knew how to make it just the way they like it.
Yeah.
So of course I always got the chance to make it, and I would hit the bottle every time before I would make their drink. So
Yeah.
I came up as a kid drinking already.
So it was pretty much already in the bloodstream of you, and
Right.
because you were inheriting it, and it just kind of like was normal to you, but realizing that, later on it is definitely a disorder, and it's something that does take a lot out of an individual. Either it could be health wise, or mentally wise, or really anything. It hits you, and it just like packs a punch to it, and it's like, geez, I should have known. But you're kind of like a horse where they have the blinders on, and it's like just looking forward, um and stuff. Because I mean, as that you and I talked, it was, you had the addiction, and stuff like that, and it's like it hits you, and then you have to find ways around it to be able to jump over that hurdle, to be able to get yourself onto a good path. And again, another thing is, we talked about, is the whole thing regarding religious, and you and I have spoken about it before. It's like, God only puts exactly what you can handle. He's only going to put enough what you can handle on your plate at a time, not that you're not going to be able to handle. And that's what it seems like, what God did to you is he did the same exact thing as what he says, and he put enough exactly what you can handle on your plate, you know. and everything.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I definitely agree. He gave me just enough that I can handle, and I mean, faith is definitely something that's very important to me and important in my recovery. And you know, um, I wouldn't be here without faith. So that's all I got to say.
yeah, no, absolutely. And then again, same thing with me. I wouldn't be here without, God, direct me the way that, he did. And, life would have been probably, I probably could be living on a right now on a slab in the morgue if that was, any chance. Because again, I had an addiction and I had to jump over it and get over it. And, unfortunately, it's stuff that we go through, and it's a disorder, unfortunately. And, the only way to get over it is to be able to face it head on, um, and take care of it. Because I can tell you, I lived in denial. No, I don't have a problem. No, I don't have a problem. But next morning, shake that beer can, and it's how I started the day. So again, it's putting your faith all into him, and really allowing it to be guided, and just listen to what he tells you. Because again, all you got to do is pretty much pray to him, and he will tell you the answer. You just got to listen. You can't
Absolutely.
you can't not listen. So you know um so with that, it's like, I know with everything, now that you're getting back, now that you're um now that you are pretty much, because now, now you're not, as we talked, it's like, you're not homeless or anything. Now you went through that, you went through the addictions and stuff like that, and you've jumped over those hurdles. Now you have purchased your condo, where you're living at now and everything, and you've gotten back up onto your feet. Tell me some stuff about that.
Yeah, that took a lot of faith. Um, some people, a lot of friends even didn't believe, but I kept the faith, and I knew it was time. And
Yeah.
and luckily I did, because I got a very low interest rate. So I'm glad I did buy when I did buy, because right after I bought this, the rates went up. Went right up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I got myself a nice little, very nice condo, nice area, and I'm no longer homeless. Went through that valley of the shadow of death part of my life, and just moving forward, just to see what God has next for me.
Yep.
That's it.
Absolutely. And now you're got the condo. What was that car you bought too? You told me when I had you over for Thanksgiving a while ago. Was that a BMW?
Yes,
Yeah.
BMW 330.
Yeah.
330 X Drive. Yeah.
You still got that, don't you?
Yes, I still have her.
And let me guess, if I'm not mistaken, it was a manual, not an automatic, right?
No, I drive automatic. I used to drive the manual, but situations happen, had to start driving automatic. And
that sucks. That sucks.
yeah.
But that I could have been saying, you could have been racing up and down, Fenway over there, trying to pick up the ladies over there.
I'm single, so
he's single. He's ready to mingle. He's ready to
ladies
mingle.
out there, I'm single.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a roller coaster ride since you have gotten out, and again, I think the military's they've got to definitely step up the game on the whole transitioning from being, military to going into the civilian life, because, a week, a 1 day course is not enough for veterans. And I think you would agree with me, Sarge, on that. Is 1 day is not enough, and it just, I don't think it will ever be enough. But I think a week, maybe even more, would probably be beneficial for a lot of veterans, with getting out, because there's a lot of stuff that you just don't understand when you're getting out. um I can testify to that too. It's not enough, and definitely not with the company commander who I had, as who I had. Just
Yes.
was not too pleasant. And it's just not enough. I don't think a day is ever going to be enough. But again, like I was saying, it's a roller coaster. You went up and down, and now you're at your going right back up, and it's going straight up from here. That's pretty much what you got to be looking forward to. And because you're not an old guy. You're still young. You're still wet behind the ears. So it's a lot. And I think if a lot of veterans got together and started trying to push for this, I think it'd be a great opportunity for the military to really look into that, because again, it's all about the men and women of the armed forces to be able to get this part, as they're ETSing out. um you know it's a lot, and it's a learning curve, but should have already been increased. But
Right.
military loves to hurry, 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 and wait on everything. That's the motto: hurry up and wait. That's all.
Sure is.
So you know with everything, and I know you've helped me out in the past, and I can't thank you enough for it, um, with the whole thing with my discharge and shit like that. Which again, I can't thank you enough for you to step up the way you did and help me. And you know again, thanks for that. um, but yeah, I mean, really, what else I've got is, um, you know, what else do you want to tell us? What do you want to tell us? To give us some more information on stuff, or anything you want to talk about. You know.
Well, I wanted to tell you guys to just, if you're transitioning, don't be afraid. A lot of veterans have a difficulty transitioning. You're not alone. Don't think that you're alone if you're having difficulties transitioning. Survey says that 70% of veterans found it difficult transitioning from the military back to civilian life. And so don't be afraid. If you're finding difficulty, just keep reaching out and just do the best that you can, and just talk to fellow veterans.
Yeah.
That's your best information sources, fellow veterans. And I just wish that I reached out to fellow veterans earlier, because I would have saved myself a big headache if I would have reached out earlier instead of just finding out the hard way. So
Yeah. No, you're absolutely 100% correct with it. Military veterans helping out other military veterans. It's the number one thing that we all got to realize, is that's who we fall back to. It's never a bad thing to reach out and ask for help on anything. It doesn't matter, and it's always great for the veterans to reach out to other veterans and saying, hey, how are you doing? How's everything going? It's always, we got to keep those into our mind that if we know a veteran that, we know a soldier that's getting out, always then look at them and say, hey, do you have any questions? Do you need anything, any help with anything? It's nice to have that. One, it gets you to talking to that individual, and maybe they might even have other issues that are going on that may just turn it a better day for them. But asking, making sure we all turn to each other. That's what it's about, because that's what the military has taught all of us, is that we need to be able to look out for the person right of us, left of us, front of us, back of us. That's who we need to look out for, because who else is going to look out for us? That's pretty much what that is. And I know, again, when you're getting out, also as you're getting out, make sure you have all the documents that are your LODs and stuff like that, that while you're serving, you have those documents, any medical records, everything that you can gather through your time in service. It's always behoove you to have it. As always, when I first got in, my squad leader would literally he would stomp and say, this is the time for you to listen up. This is the time. And, let alone that, and the knife hand, it was really something that I took into, and I had to make sure that I kept a lot of documents, because again, without keeping those documents and asking to get those documents, I wouldn't have, some of the things I do have, because again, military will sometimes lose records, or get misplaced or put somewhere else, so having those documents is always important too, as you're getting out. So, it's a lot on, transitioning. It's really, I think it's a lot, and it is big on all of us to be able to count on each other,
Right.
So, I know a lot of people just recently, is what I was going through, was the whole thing regarding the new stuff that's being put out through the VA, which the VA has been really good, and they're still even doing more as we speak. Again, it's getting this information out to everybody, is the VA is hiring people right now left and right. They're hiring veterans right now left and right, that they're hitting record numbers. It's been something that they are understanding, that there's not a lot of us when we come into the appointments, and you can speak on to this as well, Sarge, is going into an appointment, sometimes it's like kind of, you're sitting and waiting and trying to figure out who you're going to see. For instance, me sitting in mental health, trying to see the doctor, and then get told, oh, you're not going to see the normal doctor, it's the rotation out. They're rotating out, and you're getting to see a new doctor. I can't count on one hand, or even two hands, on how many times they've been changed. And I know they're trying to address that as we speak. They've been trying to address this for some time now, but again, they're trying to get it squared away, where they're hiring more and more staff members in that position, that kind of field, to fill that, so it doesn't happen. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, and
unfortunately, in the Bedford, Boston area, it hasn't really happened.
Yeah. See, I'm in the Providence. I was in JP, But I left out of there real quick after my doctor left. And I think the only time it did happen was at the Bedford VA, and that's when I was seeing my mental health doctor, who it wasn't anything he did or anything that the VA did or anything. He ended up picking up and moving, and that's where then I got into a loophole of seeing new doctor after new doctor, and then I asked for a new doctor because of the psychotherapist I was seeing I wasn't connecting. And big thing with seeing a mental health doctors and stuff like that is the feeling connected to that doctor, thinking that knowing that they're listening or understanding what you're saying and feeling, and that's one thing I just didn't do. So it was kind of hard, but then I just transitioning out and ended up going down to Providence. So now it's okay. It's a little bit different. But they're weeding out, again, they're weeding people, trying to figure out who's connect with who and stuff. And sometimes it's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. But I know I know I've talked to other veterans, and they see sometimes a pattern where they get a transitioning from one doctor to another doctor, which they're getting stuck with, like the interns, I think is what they are saying what it is. It's only a intern who they're seeing, and they only last like a year or something like that, they said. And then they transition out to another one because they go into a different area. So, but so I know they're doing that. And then also I know the VA is doing that whole the whole thing with, I know, Camp Lejeune water, but they also doing the whole thing with the PAC Act, which I'm definitely telling everybody about. Is if you don't know if you were ever exposed to it, all you can do is put in for it and see if you were ever exposed to this stuff, which they're doing a summer, what they call summer vet fest, where they're providing more literature and stuff like that, which is going, which that was signed, I think, 2022 by President Biden. But again, it's providing that information, and they're doing a bunch of stuff where they're still handing out a lot of literature about it, and they're encouraging everybody to put into it and stuff. So other than that, really, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you coming on to the show, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime, you're always more than welcome to come on. I know I'm going to be doing, I've got a few other interviews I have going, but anytime you want to come on, don't hesitate. I'm going to try to do something where it's like a monthly thing. Also, once a month, do like a random just show of popping on and having anybody that wants to pop on, and stuff on top of this regular show. But also I want to give a big shout out to which I know you are going to be a part of as well, is the DDR Motorsports, where it's a day at the track for vets, which it's happening through the rest of this season. We're bringing veterans onto the racetrack. We're having them being a part of the pit crew. The transportation is covered. The food is covered. The drinks are all covered. You get to be a part of the official pit crew. You're going to get a headset, radio type deal so you can listen to the driver and the pit crew talking. You're going to have where, you can be sitting back in the back, watching anything that if they come in for a tire change or fuel or whatnot, or something to get fixed, you're going to be back there with that. And I know we have a few more things that I'm trying to work out with it, but we just released that information out there. We have that going on, which, I can't wait to have you out there, which I believe you're coming out on the 22nd?
Yes.
Yeah. So I can't wait to have you out there. Again, if you need a ride, just let me know. I can bring you out there. But again, like I said, it's all the transportation's provided, all that stuff's provided. Spread the word. If you know any other veterans that are into any of that, or just want to even get to know anything about it, send them my way. If any of the viewers have anybody that wants to do it, send me a message, or have them send me a message or whatnot. Definitely want to take this to the next level. I even want to be able to keep going on with this, which I plan on doing this for the next at least 5 years, with hopefully with DDR Motorsports, and the ownership, the owners, and all that with that. So again, I really want to give a big shout out to them. I also want to say again, thank you, Sergeant McDonald, for having you on tonight, and giving us the whole stuff, regarding your whole background, military, and your transitioning and stuff. And I definitely wish you the best of luck with everything. And you're always more than welcome here, and you can always reach out to me anytime regarding anything. So other than that, I think, Sergeant McDonald, I think we have everything wrapped up. That's it for the show. So
All right.
if Beavis and Butthead, if you can take it away for me, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Shut up.
You suck!
Stop, in the name of all that which does not suck.
Thanks for watching FUBAR Studios Veteran Reinforcement. Please make sure to check out the FUBAR Studios on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and visit the website at FUBARstudio.com. FUBAR Studios is a Code Sinister One production.